back to the podcast, everybody. Episode number 10.
Yep.
10. Of Adepts to Change. I'm your host, Alex McMahon. I'm here with co-host Alan and special guest co-host Jordy.
Jordy.
Welcome to the podcast, Jordy. Unfortunately, Nick couldn't be with us again today, but Jordy, you've stepped into the mire to help us out today. And like the previous episode, we are just off the back of recording. And we've had two guests on who joined us remotely today. So we've had Kerri from YuLife and Tim from Healthcare Right Now. And they were talking to us about the new healthcare package that we've onboarded recently. I think it was important for us to get them on the show just to actually talk about it from what it actually does and what it can deliver for you, the workforce out there. Because we launched it probably a month, 6 weeks ago, and I don't think we did a great job of telling people about it. So this will be one to watch. I mean, if you want to listen, by all means listen, but head over to the YouTube channel because Kerri runs through a load of visual slides, which gives a lot of good information about the YuLife app and how to use it and what the benefits are. So head over there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. But some really good information in the episode. I think the main takeaways for me are the fact that you can literally be paid for walking, and some of the vouchers that you can get for it are really, really good. So there's mainstream supermarkets.
And you can save them.
And you can save them, so you can bank all your Ucoin throughout the year and then go on a big splurge at Christmas if you wanted to. I think that's what Cooper's planning on doing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think for me, I kind of thought it was like more of a fitness tracker, and it is kind of, but it's so much more than that.
Yeah.
And today has really sort of opened my eyes on that. So definitely be using it more.
No, 100%. I agree. There's a lot of things that I didn't know about the app, which I think is good for our operatives. Especially because they have children as well, and like you said, it's easier. Don't wait in line for a GP appointment if they can just do it from the comfort of their home.
Absolutely.
But very good.
Definite game changer for me, certainly. So without further ado, we'll jump into the episode now with Kerri and Tim. All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast, episode number 10 of Adepting to Change. I'm your host, Alex McMahon. I'm here with co-host Alan and special guest co-host, standing in for Nick, Jordy. We're also joined remotely today by two guests, Kerri Howell and Tim Hurd. Kerri, Tim, good morning. How are you both?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. It's good to be with you.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for inviting me today. Looking forward to the episode and explaining, some of the services that we provide.
Cool. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for giving us your time, guys. As we've touched on in the intro before, the reason for the episode is we've onboarded you guys as a new wellbeing partner. And from our point of view, I feel like we haven't done a great job of kind of broadcasting it out to our colleagues and to our workforce. So the idea behind today's episode is just to get that information out there of what the benefits are, who you guys are, what you do, and just to spread that word out so people can get the full benefits of the package that we've got with you guys. So, Kerri, if I can hand over to you first, if you can introduce who you are, what you do, and then what YuLife does.
Yes, absolutely. Yugi's on the right there. He's our YuLife mascot. And he's selected because giraffes are the land animal with the largest hearts, believe it or not. So we think Yugi is perfect to represent what we do here at YuLife, which is essentially everything with love and everything with well-being in mind. And so it's a very warm welcome from me. Obviously, my name's Kerri and I'm a launch manager here at YuLife, which means my job is to make sure that the clients that we work with get the most out of their YuLife experience and to really know all the benefits that you have with YuLife. And so I'll be taking you through some slides today. We will be chatting with Tim to have a look in deeper detail at the offering with them. So yeah, welcome everybody. We can go to the next slide. So what is YuLife? It is basically a well-being app where you get your benefits and rewards side by side in the palm of your hand. And so your membership includes basically the YuLife app, And within the app, there is a game where you're able to have fun, stay healthy, and get rewarded. We'll go into some more detail on exactly what that looks like. But just as a teaser, you are able to engage in walking, cycling, meditating. We've recently introduced Sudoku. And as you engage in these activities, you get awarded UCoin. And then you spend your UCoin with our rewards partners. And so on the right-hand side there, you can see there is the leaderboard, which I'm sure if you've downloaded the YuLife app and you've navigated around, you will very much know what that's all about. But really just to say here that it is a 30-day rolling period of tracking your steps. So we all step during the day, some of us more than others. And so you are basically able to link the YuLife app to your health account on your phone, which essentially acts as a pedometer that then brings your reading through to the YuLife app and ranks you according to those who have opted in to the leaderboard. So it's optional. You can decide for yourself. And before we started, there was already some chat around the leaderboard and the steps. So yeah, great to hear that. And then we've got the 24/7 virtual GP, which is provided by Health Hero. And I'll go into more detail on this. But for now, it's basically to say that the virtual means it's a real person, not a bot, who is there to give you video or telephone GP consultations. And then we've got our full service employee assistance program, which stands for, which is EAP, and that's provided by your Halo. So we'll go into more detail in that shortly.
Just before you move on to the next slide, Kerri, if I can ask, just quickly.
Yes.
You mentioned about linking like phones and devices for counting steps. Does that cover basically every smartwatch? So like if people have got Fitbits or Garmin's or Apple Watches, things like that, are all those compatible with the app?
Yes, great question. So basically, the actual health account, or the Garmin account, or the Apple account, or the Google Fit account, that is what gets linked to the YuLife app. And so, provided the watch is able to get one of those accounts, which typically they are, especially if they're a more uncommon brand, often the Google Fit can work well. Then that gets linked in. So. You'll see within the YuLife app, if you go to the settings function in the top left-hand side, there's 3 little lines. You click on that and you click on settings. You'll be able to see there's Garmin, Strava, Fitbit, and then obviously the health accounts with Apple, Samsung, etc.
Cool.
Okay, so how do you earn UCoin? UCoin is our currency of well-being. And so this really is sort of the mechanism with which you are earning UCoin by completing your daily steps, mindfulness minutes, or miles cycled. And then as you accumulate this, you're able to spend it with our rewards partners. And so, I'll go into more detail on exactly how you can earn UCoin in the next slide, if we can move on. Great, thank you. So we've got the passive earning, which is on the left-hand side there, which exactly to Alex's point, has a look at the linking of your wearable devices or your phone if you don't have a wearable device, where basically it will track your steps. If you're someone who cycles, it'll track your cycling. And then if you are someone who has a meditation app already, you can link that as well to the YuLife app. And that will basically track in the background your points, that stack up to your UCoin, obviously. And so if you never log into the YuLife app again, once you set this up, you'll be earning points in the background. But obviously, we do want you to be logging in. And so you can see on the right-hand side there, it is the active UCoin. So active UCoin is what you earn when you complete one of the activities within the app. So on the bottom of the YuLife app, the ribbon there, you can see there's a quest. So you click on the quests button and it will open up this page that you see on the right-hand side. And you can select what length of walk or stroll or run you want to go go for. You can select meditation from within the YuLife app. If you obviously don't have that third-party app, it's fine. You can just use the meditation that's built into the YuLife app. There are various different workouts that you can use, and there is our Yudoku, which is our version of Sudoku. So you'll see within the app there is a YU in front of anything we possibly can that makes sense. And if you're ever seeing a YuLife member, they typically have these tie-dye shirts on, and you can't see, but the logo is Love Being You. And that's really something that we like to show all of our members. We're here to help you become the best version of yourself. And so that's the active Ucoin on the right-hand side there. And if we don't have any questions, we can move on to the next slide. All right. So obviously Ucoin, as I mentioned, is the name of the game. And so the question then is, how do you earn even more Ucoin? So we spoke about the passive Ucoin, which happens when you link the wearable devices and your health accounts. We've then got the active Ucoin, where you go into the YuLife app and you complete a quest. And then within that, you'll see that there are streaks. So streaks are when you're able to complete a challenge 5 days in a row. So just to be clear, a challenge is a quest or an activity. So the walking, the meditating, the fit classes, those activities specifically in that quest section. If you complete 5 of those in a row, you will get awarded a streak and then be awarded bonus Ucoin. Then we've got chests, which give you even more Ucoin every 7 quests, but this obviously doesn't have to be in a row. Then we've got the multi-daily quests. So with us, it starts with 1 quest a day, so 1 activity a day, because obviously with the passive Ucoin, it ticks over in the background, but with the active Ucoin, it's extra Ucoin. It's kind of, it's surged Ucoin essentially. And you can then do 1 quest a day, and then it builds up to 4 quests a day as you more consistently log into the app. And so I'd really encourage you to switch on your streak reminder or quest reminder, basically, which will give you a little nudge to complete your challenge every day. And then lastly, we've got the campaigns and surges, which basically means that you'll see within the app, there'll be various different pop-ups that encourage you to basically go on your well-being journey, if it's Earth Day or if it's essentially a global well-being day, or if we're running our own well-being campaign within the app, that will pop up and it will give you increased Ucoin that you can obviously then earn. And just to mention that this is obviously Ucoin that rewards you when these surges happen. It's not like an Uber surge or a taxi surge where it's Saturday night, it's dark, it's late, it's raining, and you're trying to get home and suddenly there's a surge. So it's not like that. It's there to reward you. So that's what this slide is all about. We can move on. Next slide, please. Thank you. So competition. If you're feeling up to it, you will want to be listening in here to see how you can engage with your colleagues via the YuLife app. On the leaderboard, we've already mentioned, you can see there is opting in and being able to see how your steps stack up to your colleagues. And then if you do opt into the leaderboard, you'll be able to duel someone, where you basically select a person and then hit the duel button in the top right-hand side there. What happens then is you're able to basically duel the person the next day. So whoever steps the most the following day wins the wager of the duels. And you can then do a wager for Ucoin. So you can say, I want to wager 100 Ucoin, or you can basically do bragging rights. But that's a bit boring. I'd recommend being daring and wagering some Ucoin. And then lastly, we've got company prizes. So if there is a company competition that's taking place, this is obviously within the company, not within the app, but it's obviously leveraging the different features within the app. So keep a lookout for that. Great, thank you. Next slide. So what do you do with this Ucoin once you have collected it all? you're able to spend it with our partners. So on the left-hand side, you can see there is gift voucher partners. And what happens here is that you're able to buy a voucher with your Ucoin that you can then spend with the different partners such as Amazon, M&S, Nike, Tesco, you name it. There's a whole lot more. So do feel free to go on over to the reward section of the YuLife app. You can see at the bottom there, that bottom ribbon in the far right-hand side. And as an example, 4,000 Ucoin is equal to £5. But obviously this does vary. So yeah, that's just a ballpark. And then on the right-hand side, we've got our wellness days and different apps or products, etc. And this is slightly different. This is not with Ucoin. This is with discounts. So with these partners, you are able to get a discount on their products and services. And so do feel free to, go ahead and take a look at that.
So, I mean, we've been using the app for about a month or two in the office. So we've got a good idea on kind of how many Ucoin you get for like doing the quests and the challenges and stuff. But if you could just explain to the audience, so like there's a 10-minute walk challenge where you've got to do a certain amount of steps. How many Ucoin does that then get you, like the different quests and the different challenges?
Yes, great question. So within the app, when you click on going into one of the activities, it will show you there how many Ucoin it will give you. So as an example, the 5-minute walk will give you 60 Ucoin, but the 10-minute walk will give you 120, and then the 30-minute walk will give you, 250 or whatever it is. So it will show you within the app if you, on kind of what the different stars are. It's got like a 1-star, 3-star, 4-star, and then it gives you the exact amount of Ucoin that you'll earn if you complete that. But just to be careful that once you click on it, you do have to actually start walking. So you need to make sure that the YuLife app is open on that challenge because it's obviously not pulling from the third party. It's pulling directly from the app. And then as you walk, it will clock in the steps, and then that will correlate to the amount of Ucoin that you earn.
Okay, cool. And as you collect the Ucoin, does that expire? So let's say, for example, I just banked my Ucoin for 6 months. Would that stay there for that duration, or does it time lapse? Or
yeah, also great question. So the Ucoin actually doesn't expire, and I should start mentioning this because we do get asked that quite a bit. It stays, it's valid. It'll roll over onto the next year, etc. So, as an example, you could build it all up until the end of the year and spend it on Christmas presents or whatever it is, or a big grocery shop. So it is kind of up to you. You can get vouchers with your Ucoin to different values. So, there's £5, £10, £50, whatever it is. And then you obviously would get that voucher. And then when you shop with the provider, you would give in that voucher number that you've obviously bought with your Ucoin. So, that's how that works.
Cool. And just one more question on the Ucoin and the vouchers. Are they transferable? So, for example, could I gift 10,000 Ucoin to Alan, for example, or does it stay with that linked account?
It actually does, but I might mention that to our product team because that's a really nice, generous feature that we could add in. So you can't do that, Alex. You would keep your Ucoin for yourself, but if you wanted to be, I guess, really generous, you could jewel someone and not win the jewel, right. And then they would win the jewel and they'd get all the Ucoin that you would want to donate. So
watch this space for an update in the future then. Yeah.
Exactly. We can give you some bragging rights for that one. Got Ucoin for Good, which is our charity partners, where you can donate the Ucoin that you've earned to one of our charity partners. We've got Earthly, where you can plant trees. We've got Charity Water, where you can donate your Ucoin to provide safe drinking water for a family in need. Similarly, with Share the Meal, donating food to a family in need. We've got Beam, which is a crowdfunding exercise campaign. And then we've got Big Blue, ocean cleanup, which is cleaning up waste within the ocean. So feel free to take a look at turning your healthy habits into a force for good. Right, now for You Matter, which is our emotional support, and this is provided by Your Halo. We're joined by Tim. So I'll let Tim be the expert here and take us into more details. But really just to say that this is a 24-hour service that's provided to you, and just something really useful if you're going through something in your life that requires some emotional support. And this, I think if you think through chatting to a spouse or chatting to a friend, it can often then be a subjective opinion, whereas engaging in a third-party objective opinion can be really helpful when navigating difficult life experiences. So I'll leave that with Tim, and we can head over to the next slide. And this is our You Doctor. So similarly, this is 24/7 virtual GP support. And so this is provided by Health Hero, which is there to give you free and unlimited access to virtual GPs. And this is obviously for you and your family. And so, just a really useful service if you're experiencing any symptoms, or maybe your child at 1 a.m. in the morning is experiencing symptoms and you don't quite know what to do, or the waiting line is very long to be able to access a GP. You can come over into the YuLife app, and it's about a 1 to 2 hour waiting time before you're able to be seen. And so I highly, highly recommend this service to you. And then you can see prescriptions with, yes.
Sorry, Kerri, is that available 24/7, the You Doctor?
It is. I was with a colleague yesterday. We were at an on-site, and we had to be there at 5 a.m. to chat to all the people who were coming off the night shift. And she was experiencing tonsillitis. And so we got there, basically 4:45. She booked a session, because we obviously have the service as well. And she was seen at 6:30. So I was just amazed. 6:30 in the morning, she was seen before anyone is even awake. And so, I really can kind of testify that even just in the last 24 hours, I've seen that being used, and it's really amazing. So,
Cool. And that's for all Adept colleagues and immediate family members, did you say?
Exactly. Yes. Obviously, if you're in the YuLife app, if you've opted in.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. No, that's great, and that's, from a personal point of view, that's great to know, because I was at the hospital at the weekend with my son. He's got tonsillitis, strangely enough, as your colleague did, and we were sat waiting 4 hours, I think, to be seen. So if we can do that at home, I mean, such a benefit just to be in the comfort of your own home rather than in a waiting room full of sick people.
Absolutely. And she was prescribed antibiotics straight, they did a full assessment. She spoke them through her symptoms, and it was a video call. So they did what they can, and they obviously, everything's appropriate. It's not just kind of, they're not going to do they're medical doctors. So, So where can you find these services, You Matter and You Doctor? You can head over to the Wellbeing Hub. So if you hit the 3 little lines on the top left-hand side, cast your eye down to the Wellbeing Hub, click that, and it'll open up, and you'll see You Matter and You Doctor. Click on each of them, and you'll be able to see more information. So before I move on, and we are nearly finished, thank you everyone for sticking with us. I just want to pause and emphasize our confidentiality assurance. And so this really is to say that we are keeping your data safe and sound. We're very conscious that when you're engaging with YuLife, you're engaging with information that's sensitive, and often you don't want it to most of the time, you don't want it to make its way to your employer. And so there's no identifying information that's provided to your employer unless you yourself choose to disclose this. And similarly, working with our providers, they've all signed confidentiality agreements as well. So that's just to assure you there, and we can move on to the next slide, please. Invite a colleague. So this is a really fun feature. Within that, those 3 little lines, you can click on those again and hit the Invite a Colleague button, because here you can get 1,000 YuCoin if you invite a colleague and it's successful and they actually do download the YuLife app. Both you and the person who downloads the app will be awarded some YuCoin. So feel free to head on over and do that.
The invite a colleague, so that could be, I don't know, I go out to one of our sites, speak to one of our frontline officers or cleaners who doesn't have the app. If I then invite them to join the app, do we then get the referral bonus?
No, so that they would need to be loaded onto the system. So basically working with the HR to load them onto the YuLife platform, and then they will obviously be not invited or invited but not downloaded. So if we actually go to that slide again, that downloading slide, I can you can see claiming your account. So there's a registration process involved. Basically, all we need is someone's email address and date of birth, and that's loaded onto the system, and then they are eligible to download the YuLife app. And so the cleaner, as an example, would need to, I forget what you said now, but they would need to then have their email loaded on to the YuLife platform, and then they would be able to download the app and everyone would get the bonus UCoin. So once you've claimed your account and you've registered that email address, you then simply download the YuLife app onto your phone, and then you browse our benefits and rewards. So first things first is to connect those devices and those health accounts, then to turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any surges, opt into the leaderboard, and start referring colleagues. So the last slide, and then we can see if there's any questions. Great, thank you. So this is basically to let you know about our customer happiness team. And they are available to you within the app and via support@yulife.com. So if you're experiencing any app issues, you're welcome to give them a shout, where you can send them an email or start a conversation with them in the menu of the YuLife app under chat. You'll be able to chat with them.
I was with one of our colleagues in Manchester last week, and he was having issues with his watch syncing with the app and counting the steps. So just let you know that support function does work. Paul, who the colleague was more than complimentary about the speed of the response and like the detail. It was almost getting too much information back from the guys. So that definitely works. If anyone's having any issues with the app, use that function.
Love that. Thank you for sharing. I'll pass that on to the customer happiness team as a shout out for them. Thank you. Exactly that. They really are there to respond to you within minutes and help you get your query resolved as quickly as possible.
So just before we move on to Tim, Alan, Jordy, any questions for Kerri?
Yeah, just going back to the charitable donations tab slide you showed before. Can you nominate a charity and then produce a group event, if you will? So just say we wanted to put forward a charity and then get a collaboration of individuals together and then donate any coinage that was produced as part of that event, if you will. Is that something we could do?
Yeah, so as far as I know, we are set with our rewards partner charities who are available within the reward section of the app. But there is something called the Wellbeing Hub that I mentioned, where you are able to customize different benefits or whatever Adept is doing at the moment. If you've got an event or a campaign running or anything like that, you can put it in the Wellbeing Hub for employees to see. And so you'd be able to work with your customer success manager, who obviously would be like an account manager, to basically help set you up with a campaign if you're wanting to run something, for a short period of time.
Jordy, anything for you?
No. I've obviously tried the app as well.
Yeah, cool.
Doing it every day, which is good. It is very motivating because obviously, like you said as well, the quests. I always do the brisk walk, because that's the 30 minutes in the morning. I do wish that you could do it more often throughout the day, because obviously when I finish work, I go on a walk with my dog. So to get more coins would be nice to have but it would be nice to have another.
Yes, absolutely. So Jordy, after the first 50 days, if you are logging into the app regularly, you can then unlock 2 quests a day. And then from day 50 to 100, you can unlock 3. That is 2. So it's day 1 to day 49, it's 1 quest a day. Day 50 to 100, it's 2. And then from 100 to 150, it's 3. And then from 150 to 200, it's 4. And then it remains at 4. So eventually you can do up to 4 a day. So you could do your brisk walk in the morning, your short walk in the afternoon, a Udoku, and meditating.
No, that's good, because I think I'm now on 30, so I'm just not there yet. So
That's great. So hang in and you'll get there.
Cool.
Great.
So Tim, if we could head over to yourself, if you could just let us know what you guys do.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. So I'm Tim Hurd, a business psychologist. I've been in occupational health and wellbeing now for 20 plus years. And we're providing the Your Halo service as part of this package. And what it is easy access to mental health support. So, as Kerri quite rightly pointed out, you've got access to mental health experts 24/7. When we say mental health experts, I think part of our offering is we have a broad range of skills within the team. So we have counsellors, we have CBT therapists, we have wellbeing coaches, we have mental health nurses. We have a broad range of. It's a multidisciplinary approach that we take, and we have done for the last 20 plus years. And it fits really well with the what Kerri's just been through, because underlying everything that we do is well-being, and as part of the service, we're not just going to look at the clinical aspects of what's going on in your life, and I think we pride ourselves on looking at holistic assessment. So when you contact us, what you're going to get is somebody having a conversation around what you're struggling with at the moment, and we'll then also talk with you some of the other factors that are going on in your life. We know that mental health isn't isolated. We have different things that influence our mental health, such as our social network, what's going on at work, our finances, and also, and what really sits underneath this is how we look after ourselves. We know that a lot of the underlying risk factors for health, and in particular mental health, is the way we look after ourselves. So that influence comes through everything that we deliver, and we will talk to you about well-being. And this is now growing in terms of its evidence base, that how we look after ourselves builds into our mental health and well-being. So we're going to look at holistic assessment. We're going to look at everything that's going on in your life and provide you with support through the Your Halo service. So yeah, guys, have you got any questions about what you're going to get, or what the Your Halo service includes?
Yeah, I've got a couple actually, Tim, if that's okay. So I'm assuming that we access this through the YuLife app. So we follow a link within the app to actually get to you guys. Let's just say, for example, today that I get on the app and request an appointment. What would be the general lead time from pressing the button to request to actually then being on the phone or on a call with someone, having that initial assessment?
I think what happens is you get the opportunity to book a time in with our guys. I can't give the exact lead times at the moment. Kerri, I don't know whether you can answer that, but I know that the variety of services we provide is sometimes it's you phone a number and we pick up the phone immediately, and you get to talk to someone as soon as you make that phone call. And I know that we do have a diary booking system where you pick a time that's convenient for you. So quite often you want to have a time in your day where you've got time to have that conversation. I'm not entirely sure what that lead time would be, but it will give you options when you go onto the website. When you click through the app, it will give you options in terms of our availability.
Okay, so it allows you to kind of pick something that suits with your time, your diary, that kind of thing. I was just thinking.
I think also to prepare for it as well, for that individual to prepare for that call. I think it's important.
Yeah.
100%, because I think we see, on the news and across social media, kind of like NHS wait times, GP wait times, or not even being able to get into a GP surgery. So I think that sounds good in a sense that we'll be able to get onto the app, get through to your team, and make an appointment that actually suits us, and actually be able to make that appointment. So that sounds really positive. Another question would be, so I've worked with companies in the past where they've had employee assistance programs, but the amount that you can use it was capped. So you'd be able to get, I think it was something like 2 or 3 appointments, and then if you wanted to continue, you then had to pay for it yourself. How does it sit with us? Do we have like an unlimited amount of usage, or is it a similar thing where you get a number of appointments included, and then if you want to continue, you'd pay for it, or how does it work?
Yeah, through the Your Halo service, you get 4 sessions with our guys. You also have access to online CBT platforms, self-help platforms. So yeah, there's a range of different services that we provide through the Your Halo service. But in terms of emotional wellbeing support calls, you get 4, and then any additional we'd have to request for more.
Okay, cool. So that'd be something that, for example, we'd have to request through our colleagues that are watching or listening would request through their line manager. We'd then bring that, to you guys and arrange something.
Absolutely, Alex. Absolutely. And I think when it comes to mental health, I think what I'm certainly trying to do with organisations that we work with is encourage people to access these services before they're unwell. I think we certainly live. It's got better over the 20 years of my career, but 20 years ago we didn't want to talk about mental health. Now, I'm talking to organisations about mental health on a daily basis. I've done 2 or 3 workshops with managers, with colleagues, and talking about mental health, but also talking about when we should be accessing support. And I think historically the stigma associated with mental health is we waited too long, which is why this fits really nicely with a wellbeing intervention. Is we're encouraging people to do it when you're struggling in life. When you start to languish in life, actually at that point you need support. What we found in the past historically is that mental health services are for people who are unwell. You become ill, and actually it's a lot longer journey to get back to wellness, and recovery takes longer. So what we're really encouraging is to engage through something like the YuLife app, and I think that's a good measure of it, isn't it? If you're engaging less in your well-being, then maybe you're struggling in life and starting to languish. And what I'm really passionate about is people picking up the phone to us and talking through any challenges they have. Because I'm more likely to speak to somebody outside of my social and work network than I am my wife or my colleagues. And this is a confidential service where you can talk about, what's going on in your life and get signposted to some really good resources that are out there to look after your well-being. And I suppose, my ask of people is to use this before you come unwell, to actually, be aware of your well-being and start to seek support before you get to that point. Because mental health services are designed for that when you're unwell. Does that make sense?
100%, yeah. I think it's a really good point, Tim, because, we talk about people going to the gym or keeping fit with cycling, swimming, etc., to look after the body before problems start, but we never talk about actually looking after your mind before problems start. So we only think about accessing these, like you say, accessing these platforms and things when there's a problem, but there's so many people out there who are maybe okay, kind of on the borderline of being okay or not okay, and not doing anything, and then waiting to the tip over to being unwell before seeking help. So I think that's a great point. Even if you're doing well, use these services because it can help. It's just like going to the gym or going for a swim or something like that.
Yeah, it's certainly something that I advocate, and I think that is certainly coming through in the wellbeing market now. Is actually wellbeing interventions. I went to a conference a couple of months ago, and services like Your Halo are now putting more and more wellbeing coaching in as an intervention. I know that when Kerri talked through it, it's clinical counselling, but actually, I think we're now moving forward and asking people to access it before you need a clinical intervention. And we might talk to you about your sleep. We might talk to you about your nutrition. We might talk to you about how you can fit daily exercise into your routine. Kerri's just described an amazing set of challenges that set you goals, and actually you get rewarded for doing well-being and looking after yourself. This is going to have a huge impact on your mental health. We know that 10, 15, 20 minutes of brisk walking has a huge impact on your mental health and your physical health. So yeah, I think this is a wonderful product, and Kerri, it's the first time I've seen it. I'm now going to go back and ask for it for us.
Tim, was there anything else that you wanted to run through with us at all?
It's just really encouraging people to seek support when they need it. And, as you said, it's free. You can use it anytime. It's easily accessible. But don't overthink it. If you feel like you're starting to struggle in life, pick up the phone. Because we're going to signpost you towards a load of resources that you can look after yourself and give you, a number of sessions to go and work on your well-being and your mental health. So, pick up the phone to us.
I think that's a really good point as well, Tim. And it's not just about mental well-being that you guys can help with. It can be if people are, struggling with finances, with diet, with sleep, all sorts of stuff like that. And I think that's such an unknown part of people's mental health. Certainly, I find myself in that vacuum on a night where it's getting to 10, 11, 12 o'clock and I'm still sat there scrolling away endlessly, looking at my phone at needless crap when I should be asleep. And I think just getting that awareness out there, I'm sure your team of experts to be able to certainly help people with stuff like that as well. So yeah, it all sounds really good. Guys, any questions for Kerri or Tim? Or we've got them at all.
I can't think of anything.
No, I just think it's, for me, from my experience, I think the YuLife app is really good, especially now with Tim explaining everything else, what's in there, Kerri as well, access to the doctors, and just if you just want to speak to someone, I think that's very helpful for people, especially because we, like our operatives, some of them are lone workers, so especially in the evenings when they're by themselves or when they just, because I do know that a lot of our operatives, I can speak to them or they request to speak to me about their personal life and everything, but also I'm not a doctor, I'm not qualified, so there's only so much that I can do and offer them as an advice-wise, but to have this as an extension to tell them, please download the app and use it, I think that's amazing. I think it's really good, yeah.
100%. Kerri, Tim, is there anything else that you guys wanted to cover, or are you happy you kind of covered everything that you guys have to offer?
Yeah, I'm comfortable, other than to mention to everyone to go ahead and get signed up and get engaging. And like Tim says, don't overthink it. Just start somewhere and go from there.
Brilliant. Well, listen, guys, thank you so much for all the information. Thank you so much for giving us your time and to getting that message out there about what we've bought and the benefits that it can have. So I think we'll wrap up the episode there. Again, thank you so much, and we will see everyone soon.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.